Hey guys, it's Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Got an easy one and a not so easy one today. We learned how to do Custard Pie by Led Zeppelin. So this one's got some easy rhythm guitar parts, kind of fun to lock into. The fun riff, it's just, it's fun to lock into. Solo is a lot more difficult. Got some really cool kind of blues-inspired playing in it by the great Jimmy Page. So we're gonna be talking that thing note for note as well too. Before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, watch the videos. It really helps, even if you're not in the room while they're playing. It helps. It helps YouTube send it out to more of my subscribers because they don't. They send it out to less than 1% of the subscribers. So if you're one of those 1% that gets sent my videos that's actually subscribed, you means you probably watch the videos. But if you don't watch them, they're going to quit sending you the recommendations anyway. And then the numbers go, woo. Anyway, so now, if you truly want to support what I'm doing here, link in the description is how you do it. It's a link to my Guitar Academy. That's a YouTube only link. So that is just for my YouTube viewers that watch my content a lot and want to support it. If you click that link, it's going to give you 40% off my annual rate. So if you go directly to my website, you're not going to see that price. But that, if you click there through there, you will get access to that special 40% off annual price, and you'll have that price for life. It'll never go up, and you get full access to all of my courses, my weekly live streams that I do just with Academy members every Saturday morning, personalized support for me as well. So please go check it out. All right, let's jump into the tune. We are in standard tuning, so nothing big there. And then we have like kind of this main riff, and that's kind of really a big section of the whole verse. But the main riff that you hear him play 4 times before the vocals come in is just this. So you'll see him play this when he did it, especially in the 90s when they did that Page Plant stuff. Sometimes they go, same notes, so they'll just kind of finger it differently, or they do. But he doesn't do that on the actual real recording, so we're just gonna play it like the real recording. So for the most part, he plays like this. So it's just a power chord here. So we have the open A string, and then this second fret there on the D. And you kind of down, up, down, that's 3 hits on that. And then with the same thing, open A, but it's a 4th fret on the D. And then 3 hits on that. And then same thing, open A, but 5th fret on the D. So it's a little. So we have that little melody, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. But you have the open A with all those. Then you just kill it, and then it goes to an A power chord. You kind of want to get, sometimes you can hear that C sharp in there, making it a full major chord. But it's really kind of, it's taking that note up to that melody note, which is right here on the G. So when you hit this chord, you don't want to be just the A and the D string. You want to get that 2nd fret there on the G as well. So it's this open A, 2nd fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G. So that takes that melody note all the up to the top, so it is. And then 3rd fret there on the low E string, kind of palm muted, and then back to the A power chord we just played. So we have this. All right, so then the verse comes in. Now the verse is that same main riff played 4 times, and then it goes into a couple other things. So I'll play that for you again. All right, so basically 4 times on that main riff when Robert Plant comes in with the vocals. And then you're gonna jump up here to the 5th fret and play this D power chord. So it's the 5th fret on the A, 7th fret there on the D string. Play that, let that ring, then you go. So it's just a chromatic thing. So it goes 5, let that ring, and then 5, 4, 3. So just top note down with it. And then hold there, and then 3, 2, 1. So this. And then back to the main riff 2 more times. All right, so then, so this is just during the verse. We then go to this E5 power chord. E5 power chord, they mean the same thing. E power chord, so it's an open E string, 7th fret on the A, 9th on the D. So you let that ring, and then you can come up here and grab the 10th fret across the A, D, and G. You can do it however you want. So. And then what he does is he plays an F power chord to a G power chord, but he heavily palm mutes them. So that's just, and he does it with his thumb. So he plays like the thumb at the 1st fret there on the low E string, and he plays the 3rd fret on the A and the D, and heavily palm mute them, and then move it up 2 frets to the 3rd fret there. So it's 3 here, 5 on the top 2 notes. Now you can play that with just your index finger too. You don't need to use your thumb. And then it goes to that main riff 2 more times. So the whole verse is basically that main riff 4 times, and then it goes to that little D into the chromatic thing. And then you play the main riff 2 more times. And then we go to the ending of it, that E to the, and then main riff 2 more times. And then it'll start everything over. All right, so that's the whole verse. So we repeat that a few times, and then we get to exactly the same way. So basically, start the song with the main riff 4 times, and then we go into the verse. We play the verse, I think, through like 3 times, and then we get to the solo. So I'm gonna take a look at, I'm gonna play through Jimmy Page's solo here. Let me warm up my wah pedal, and I'll play through it for you real quick, and then I'll show you how to play it note for note. All right, so there is some really, really cool stuff in that one. So we're gonna start here. I've got my little bad horsey wah here, which I'm sure Jimmy Page was not using, of course. I think Steve I was maybe, I don't know, 10? Maybe a little older than that. But so anyway, bad horsey wah wasn't out yet, but that's what I'm using here. So we're gonna start here with just some double stops. So you can grab the 7th fret across the G and the B string. And so I have the wah kind of engaged there. And basically, you just grab pick both of those and kind of pull it towards the floor a little bit. You do that just kind of 3 times and then hold it. And then you do it 3 more times again. And then we do, it's just slightly different. So the 3rd time we do it, you still bend it 3 times. And then there's a quick little 7/5 at the end of it. So it's kind of, this is under a lot of wah, so it's kind of hard to pick up exactly that little but. And then the 4th time through, he changes, he does this. So it's kind of more bends, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 bends that kind of start speeding up as you go instead of 3. So the first 3 times, you're bending it 3 times. The 4th time, you bend it 5 times. with that same 7/5 ending on the G that we did the third time through. And then the fifth and final time, we're doing 5 of those bends again. But it has a little bit longer. It does that. So that's just those 5 bends. But it goes 7/5 on the G to 7 on the D, back to 5 on the G. So altogether for these double stops that start at the beginning of the solo. All right, now from there, we're done with the wah, and we're just gonna go into this. All right, so that's the first phrase there of the solo. We're gonna kind of break everything down in phrases from here. So we're gonna, this is a, so, that's it. So it's kind of like one of those things you gotta have in your fingers, kind of up to tempo to kind of think about the notes. So we have this bend at the 7th fret there on the G, up to the 5th fret. You're gonna play the 5th fret there on the high E string. And then you're gonna do a bend and release at the 7 on the G, pull off to 5. Over to the 7th fret there on the D. All right, so after you get to that 7th fret on the G, you're gonna roll over to the 7, after you get to the 7th fret on the D, you're gonna roll over to the 7 on the G, and back to the 7 on the D, and then back to the 5 on the G. So that's so far. And then you're gonna pull off 7 to 5. Pull off 7 to 5 on the G, over to 7 on the D, back to that 5 on the G, kind of a slight bend on it sometimes when he's playing the 5, and then back to that 7 on the D. So it's kind of a typical blues like. All right, from there we have this. All right, so that's gonna move around quite a bit. We're gonna start with a bend at the 9th fret on the G string. So you're gonna bend it up a whole step, take it a couple times, release the bend, pull off to 7, over to the 9th fret there on the D. Then you go back to 7 on the G, and then slide to the 5th fret. And then you pull off to the open string. And then he grabs that same note that's on the open G. You can hear like an open string ring again. And then he goes, he grabs the same note here on the fretted note. So that's gonna be the 5th fret there on the D. You did a quick little chromatic. You're gonna pull off 5 to 4 on the D string to 3. Then over to 5 on the A string, back to the 3 on the D string, back to 5 on the A, and back to that 3 on the D. So we have this. Once again, whenever he's playing that little index finger there, there's a little tug on it. So. All right, from there we have this. Pretty easy. So it's just 5, 4, 3 on the D string twice. So it's kind of picking all those notes that we did a quick legato look with it before. All right, next phrase. All right, it kind of moves around a little bit. We're gonna start here from. Slide from the 5 to 7 on the A string. and then play 5, 7 on the D, kind of palm it over to 5 on the G string. So after we get to that 5, you're gonna pull off 7 to 5 on the G, then pick that 5 again. Then you're gonna pull off 8 to 5 on the G. Then back over to the 7th fret there on the D, D string. Back to the 5th fret there on the G, and then end it quickly. Muted, heavily palm muted here is 7, 5 on the D. Remember, sometimes you want to accentuate that note. From there, it's gonna. So that's gonna slide into the 9th fret there on the G string. 9th fret on the G, hit the 8th fret on the B a couple times, and then to 10 on the B. And then jump up here. So that's going to be 11 on the G, 10 on the B, and then to a few bends at the 12th fret there on the B. Then release that bend and pull off to 10, and then back to 12. You can just kind of hammer back on that 12. And then we have this. Actually, that's kind of the first half of it. So we have this. I'm gonna stop there because then we go into that little final section. So, so after you did this. If you got there, you're gonna now do 4 bends, kind of 4 kind of slower bends that kind of drag it behind the beat a little bit, kind of milking those notes a little bit. So after that 4th and final bend, you see I'm kind of killing each note as it gets to the top of the bend. I'm not doing that. After that 4th bend, you kill it at the top, and then without any bends, 12, 10 on the B string, 11 on the G, back to 10 on the B, and then back to 11 on the G. You can slide down in. Then that kind of slides up the A string to the 12th fret. Then play 10, 12 on the G string, end that 12, and then play 12, 10. So with this. And then we have this final section. All right, so that kind of slides into that 14th fret there on the G string, then play 13, 15 on the B string. And when you play that 15, it's into a bend. And then play 13, 15, 13 on the B. And then we have this. So that's gonna grab, you can kind of roll your ring finger over. I like to kind of separate the notes and just use my pinky for that top note, the 15th fret there on the A string. Because you want to get ready, because it's a pre-bend at the 15th fret when you go back down to the B string. So I'm already bent there. Then release that bend, 13, 15, 13. And then it's kind of the same thing, just that top note, the 15th fret, and then pre-bend of the 15 on the B, down to 13 only. So we have this. And then we kind of start the same thing. with that ending, the top note, the pre-bend, and then pre-bend and release, and then 13, 15, 13, and then the very fourth and final time, it does that top note and then the pre-bend at the 15, and go 13, 15, 13, over to 14 on the G to end it. So that whole section. Sometimes you're gonna hold that. And that is it for the solo. So out of the solo, we just go back into the verse. So nothing big there. Same thing, same verse we did before, very simple. And then out of that verse, after doing the verse kind of one time through, it goes back into that main riff and just kind of repeats it for the rest of the song. We have like some vocal kind of things going on, some harmonica things going on, but it's just this. There's kind of that part of it. So that part of the verse pretty much is just goes and goes and goes to the fade out. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a fun song. It's got a fun riff to play. It's like easy to play, but it's kind of fun to lock in with. And then that solo's got some really cool stuff in it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.